Hello, and welcome to another completely unprofessional unboxing. Scott here, and by the thumbnail, I'm sure you already know what is coming inside this little package right here. But before that, would like to cover a couple things. It's been a while since I've done a video, of course, and I'd like to thank you all for your patience. For those of you who enjoy my channel, we've been a little busy with personal things, and as they tend to do, this is a channel done just for fun. And so with that, personal responsibilities always come first. There is a fly in here, so I'm sure I'll be swatting that many times. And the other thing I would like to just touch upon is for those of you who were kind of maybe hoping this was the video I was going to be doing with my wife, Julie, who is an art teacher. We're going to be doing a couple episodes of her taking a look at tabletop RPG art, which I teased maybe a little too soon. But know that she is an art teacher, and with this time of year, it is a very busy time for them. With the end of the semester, the holidays coming, and so may have been a little bit overzealous in hoping that video would be coming out soon. So when she has a little bit more time to provide to me in order to do the video, those hopefully will be dropping here within the next week or so, once all the grades are in. So now back to this box right here. So as stated, from what you've already seen with the thumbnail, you know what's coming, but a little bit of history about why I have it. So in early November, again, I will kind of look up there and kind of throw the Twitter post that I put out. I was kind of asking a question about Rifts. Rifts is a game that I'm well aware of. Rifts is a game that's been around for a very long time. It is one of the mini games, though, back in the day that even though it was readily available, never touched it, never played it, not for any particular reason, other than the fact that I think after trying so many different games to try to bring to the table for my group back in my youth and soundly being shot down to continue on with whatever thing TSR had put out, I may have given up. I think the last thing that I tried that may have been close to Rifts was Torg. And that's, we may have tried out a little bit. Again, it didn't hit. We may not have understood the rules completely because we were a bit younger, and the original Torg rules were a bit scattershot from my recollection. It's been a while. But let's go ahead and open this up, and I'll continue on. So I do not have my trusty Coleman camping steak knife. One of the things that have been keeping us busy is we've been kind of reorganizing here in the chateau, and it has gone missing. So if you happen to find it, please do not use it for any sort of crime, because my fingerprints are all over it. So let's go ahead and open this up, and I will continue on. So I had sent out a tweet asking Rifts, should I try it? Innocent enough tweet. Twitter and other social media is full of all of these kind of tweets. I'm curious about a particular game. Should I try it? Should I give it a go? What is your opinion? And usually when I, ask these things on social media, specifically Twitter, I'll get a couple, little bit of feedback, some replies, and they will, run the gambit. Sure, check it out. It's great. Well, if you're going to play it, maybe consider this, or this particular game may have a few issues, but nothing overwhelming. I was not aware. Well, I was aware, but I was not expecting the type of responses I was going to receive with this particular question about this particular game. I knew Rifts had a very large and widely supported fan base, and I knew that there was a few people who absolutely wanted nothing to do with Rifts, didn't enjoy it. But the responses I got ran the gambit of, yes, definitely buy it. You will not regret it. And to burn it with fire. Hundreds of responses. Well, not really hundreds, but, a lot. To the point where, regardless of how I felt about the game or would feel about the game, considering all the responses that I got, it was something that I wanted to check out. And it ran the gambit of, yes, check out this particular edition, check out this particular edition. Don't use it with the rules. Use it with these rules. Use it with Savage Worlds. Just use it for the setting. If you're going to do it, you got to do it properly and use the rules as written and all over the place. So I needed to check this out. I needed to see what all the hoopla was about that caused so many people to foam at the mouth. I mean, I don't think there was a casual reply within any of them. It was do it now, to, like I said, burn it with fire and never mention again, or we will block you and unfollow you. So here we are. I am familiar with Palladium, the role-playing game. Palladium, the fantasy role-playing game, I believe might have been maybe my second or third role-playing game that I actually bought with my own money. Most of the things I had acquired prior to that were either gifts, me begging for things from my parents, and maybe stuff that I got with a bit of an allowance. But at the time that I was looking to get into games, I think that was about the time that we started maneuvering away from TSR as our focal point in all games, and I started discovering other companies, other games, and whatnot. I believe I had just started a part-time job at a pizzeria, and so, like most kids do, with their first paycheck, do they put them away in a savings account? Do they invest it in something that is going to give them something more later on in life? Fuck no. You take your paycheck and you blow it on whatever the hell that you can purchase as quick as possible. And so Palladium Fantasy Roleplay was one of those things that I did. And I'll be honest, I think my experience with Palladium, like so many people, was opening it up and looking at it with a lot of excitement. There's a new game. Let's check this out. Let's see what it is. And for some people, it just like clicks. And for others, you look at it like you're looking at a calculus math book after just getting a D- in basic math. And so as much as I wanted to get into the particular crunch of that game, I just don't think I was in the proper mind space for that. And I think we may have used a couple neat ideas from it, but never used it in its entirety. And so it sat on, well, not really the shelf. It sat, probably underneath my bed or wherever I was keeping my books at the time, and never really touched upon it again. I know I did purchase other things, Palladium related, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, of course, and along with some of the, other supplements that came out for fantasy roleplay, particularly because, the covers, the artwork were, instantly inspiring. And, the artwork inside the book kind of ran the gambit, and there was a lot of good ideas within them. But, it was kind of like, it was more a novelty, something that we never really used. And so by the time, Rifts, came out and became popular, Palladium wasn't even on our radar for the most part. We had, my attention drew elsewhere, and we were doing other things. And it was just kind of one of those things. It was on the shelves of the game store. And it seemed like every other week, 2 more books would be added to it until Rifts just, took up a good, 2/3 of one of the shelves in the game store. I know I paged through it dozens and dozens of times, and one of the things that I recall is, quite a bit of the artwork inside. Never did anything with it. So this will be the first time that I'll be looking at anything Rifts related in many, many years. Without further ado, let's take a quick look at it and do a page through. All right. First off, obviously, the cover. There's a lot to be said about the covers of any Palladium book, and many, many fantastic artists have done several renditions of it. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, looking at the cover of Rifts, if I knew nothing about it, I'd have no clue what the fuck's going on. I mean, obviously by the name, something might be coming through a rift, but there is what would most people would consider to be maybe a beholder-like creature, but obviously it's not. But a one-eyed tentacled monster with alien-type appendages coming off of it with teeth, and in front of it is some sort of armored knight with a torch. But yeah, I mean, it would be something I'd go, okay, what is this game? And therefore, the cover art has done its job. Okay, we come to, we got a little focus issue there. We come to what looks to be some sort of sci-fi city. And again, I will reinstate one more time for those listening. I know absolutely zero about the setting. So for those of you who may be screaming, that is so-and-so in so-and-so. Yeah, it is. I just don't know. But so carrying on. And then a little warning here. Warning, violence and supernatural. Please use parental discretion. Okay, that's perfectly fine with that. I appreciate warnings in any books that may, have some sort of questionable material in it. Even if this was something that, damn fly, even if that was something that, wasn't there in the beginning, it's just, it's okay to see it now. I don't know. Did you hear that? It is very noisy at my house today for some reason. All right, carrying on. Written and created by Kevin Sembita. Absolutely. He did everything. No. It's a little joke, but yeah, at his expense. But anyways, carrying on. Yeah, so we've got a large list of people here. I'm not going to go through them all. I'm going to keep this page through relatively quick. And all right, so we have the contents and Palladium books. Obviously there is it is known for, obviously there's a very dense content list in the beginning, but like many Palladium books, there's no index. Nope, just checking. And so if you need any sort of organization or want to have any sort of organization with your Palladium books, you need to get the index separately. Yeah. Pardon me as I roll my eyes slightly. But not a detriment. It's just how some people, I guess, do things in the industry. Well, one person. But carrying on. I'm not here to bash Mr. Sembita. So, riffs. Yes, this is not unlike any other Palladium books out there. There is a long list of contents, completely dense and full of many options and things. All right, so the setting. So I'll just read this briefly. It's 100 years in the future. Humankind has enjoyed a golden age of peace, prosperity, and advancement. We've conquered most diseases, bottled the fountain of youth, extended our lifespan to 200 plus years, and our toys are nanotechnology and the genetic code. Other cities look like something out of a science fiction novel, complete with robots, androids, and flying cars. Our future appears grand. Then it all comes to a crashing stop. Imagine the end of the world. The movie Day After Tomorrow meets Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah. I know what those are. I don't know if anyone who is a few years younger than me know what those are, so that's a bit of a dated reference, but fair enough. This was written during that time. In addition to the mass destruction and total chaos, lines of blue energy appear across the world. Where two or more of these lines meet, tears in space and time occur. From these rifts emerge strange alien beings. Some seem as mortal, scared, and confused as you. Others are demons from the very pits of hell. At other places along the lines, weird and alien wildlife appear overnight. People start to manifest magical and psychic powers. Ancient gods appear to claim portions of the land. Titans clash, and the landscape changes. It is pure and utter madness. Fast forward 100 years. It is the planet Earth, but one you'd barely recognize. It has been transformed into a patchwork of 1,000 alien worlds with doorways to infinite realities. Imagine each state, province, and country an alien environment. One place may be a beautiful woodland, another is an alien jungle, and another is dominated by humanoid insect people, another is filled with dinosaurs. Over there is a land of fairies and dragons. Over here is a place of war, at war with itself. Some lands shift and change daily, while others straddle 2 or 3 realities at the same time. All right, so right there, I get the gist. I get the gist of this game. It is a game where all things are possible, I would imagine, and I'm going to take a wild guess. And as far as your character options are concerned, they are going to run the gambit of all genres. allowing you to mix and match so many different things, and as clearly stated, experience pure and utter madness in your role-playing game. It sounds exciting. Sounds like a good time. Sounds like something that I've not exactly played in other games. It's something similar to it. And so, it right off the bat, the setting itself does not tell me does not give me any warning signs. Sounds great. All right, so that is the gist of Rifts, and it continues on. And then, so we have here the recollections of Aaron Tarn, and we won't go through that. Then we have, so we're going into a bit of, since this is the Ultimate Edition, they're adding, I would imagine, a bit of history to it, the history of the game, and how it came to fruition. So, and I would imagine those who are familiar with Rifts already know about this. So we get a bit of a world overview, and yes, dense, tight paragraphs. As we continue on, so okay, all right, so here we go. The world overview. I'm just going to name off the ones that are listed here. So, what do we have? So the world overview. Here we are. Distant lands. So we have a little bit of information on what England has become, the new German Republic, Poland, Russia, China, India, Japan, the rest of Southeast Asia, Australia, Africa, Atlantis has reappeared, okay, and South America. And then continuing on in our American homeland, we have a place called the Savage Wilderness, and things that stretch into the eastern woods like Virginia and Canada. Southeast is known as Dinosaur Swamp, in the northern woods of Canada, Michigan, and our Midwest. In the Magic Zone, the Eastern Wall in Mississippi. The grassy plains of the west and northwest roam tribes of Simvan monster riders, dinosaurs, and whatnot. The Midwest is a blend of woods, meadows, grassy plains, blah, blah, blah. The Southwest is many of some dinosaurs and monsters, so dinosaurs seem to be a ongoing theme here. Beyond the Rocky Mountains, also known as the Forbidden Barrier and Sharp Cliffs, who knows what waits? Tales of alien jungles and weird lands. Okay, so leatherwing, griffins, dragons. Okay, so yeah, more. There's obviously going to be a lot of meshing and molding of the various genres here. Again, not a turnoff. Sounds exciting. So there's things such as dragons, fairy folk, demons, monsters, humanoid creatures, Native American size stalkers, and other tribal people or citizens of the wild, glamorized and misunderstood by civilized people. Okay, so there's going to be obviously that included in here. The wilderness is also sanctuary for magic practitioners, necromancy, and so on. Small wilderness towns and villages. Okay. All right, so we're getting a breakdown of not just the United States, but the world at large has changed. But it looks like we're focusing primarily, at least here, of the USA. And I would imagine with the 8,000 supplements that it goes into more details for other locations around the world. All right. Oh, okay. We have a beautiful piece here. Let's see here. Ley lines, energy ripples across the land. A group of adventurers marvel at the 300-foot wall of magical energy that is easily visible at night. It's beautiful. Okay, so again, this is a Ultimate Edition, so I would imagine a lot of this artwork didn't appear originally in the book. I could be wrong, but it looks like they're highlighting a lot of the details here. So yes, this is some of the things that I remember about Rifts is the artwork. I mean, say what you will, but just about every single one of these pieces here are fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And does the job of what, tabletop RPG artwork should do. Evoke a sense of wonder and imagination, draw you into their game, and make you want to play it and experience what is going on within several of these pictures. Darn fly, excuse me. There's just like one flying around here, and of course, it seeks me out to land on me all the time. A swarm of insect-like humanoids swarm out of the rift. So, yeah. All right, so I guess things are constantly coming out of the various rifts, depending on the whim of the game master. All right, character creation. So I would imagine this, at least in the basic level, follows the similar structure of all Palladium games. We have occupational character classes. We have racial character classes, coalition, soldier, occupational character classes. So no shortage of options here. I mean, crazy things. A lot of people reference, occupational character classes such as glitter boys. I have no idea what those are, but when I get a chance to sit down with this book, I will read it in more detail. Practitioners of magic, scholars, psychics, so, pyrokinesis and whatnot. So that's all within this game. Racial character classes, you can play a dragon. Fantastic. All right, combat cyborg. Yeah, so this is another thing that I seem to recall from a lot of the iconic Rifts artwork. This particular combat cyborg, giant weapons, giant guns, totally decked out, crazy creatures with that kind of late 80s, 90s aesthetic. All right, so this is going to go into so many details of all of the occupational character classes. So let's just see how far does it go. I mean, yeah, it's obvious this is going to take up a bulk of the book with all of the options that you have. But as we get a little break here in between. Yes, a pair of full conversion Borgs stalk among the ruins of the ancient city. So yes, this is, again, a lot of the artwork is superb. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, what is this? A typical leyline walker, a practitioner of magic. So that's typical. Great. All right, so continuing on, let's see here. So, okay, we're still in occupational character classes. And, all right, so I believe there's right about here is where magic starts. Yep. Am I right? Almost there? Almost there. Okay, so yeah, so we get into, there we go, psionic powers. So, yeah, so a good chunk, a good chunk in the book. Not, I wouldn't say maybe just under a quarter of it is going to be details of the character classes you have to choose from. And we're going to get into psionic powers, dealing with healing, physical, sensitive, and super psionics. So you got a lot of options there. And then we get into magic, I would imagine. Yes, magic. So principles of magic, dealing with the terms, understanding it, casting spells, dealing with ley lines and rifts. So quite a lot more detailed than the psychic system, it seems. And then we get into the list of magic spells by levels, starting with level 1 all the way up to level 15, ending with Dimensional Portal and Teleport Superior. So the listing of spells and the details, again, not a whole lot. So it's not, we don't have, so, okay, so there we go. So just about half of the book. Just about half the book is your character classes and your magical powers. All right, so now we're getting into, the lore, the coalition states, it looks like. Oh, no, my bad. We're actually getting into the coalition states and the coalition character classes. So carrying on with that, then obviously with that comes gear and a lot of the more familiar artwork. Love that. Coalition Deathhead Transport. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so here we are. This, I mean, even if you don't know riffs, most everyone has seen this particular iconic scene here. With these skull crawlers and the cyborgs here, or the robots. And then, yes, and then the cover. This is the cover of the anniversary edition or the original riffs. But yeah, I mean, even if this was the cover of the very first edition, I mean, come on. Who is going to look at that and not want to know what the hell is going on within the pages of this book? I mean, seriously, that is just, yeah. so much going on. All right, yeah. So Coalition Spider Skull Walker. That's an iconic piece of artwork right there. All right, so another good chunk of it is dealing with the coalition occupational character classes, and with with definite Palladium style, a lot of equipment and details and gear. All right, yeah. So we're going into more gear. So again, so up to common gear, we've got just maybe a little over half the book, dealing with a little bit of lore and all of the options you have to make your characters. And then now we've moved on to just general equipment that can be available. And then, okay, so 278 pages gets us finally to character creation. So in character creation here in this version, looks like it seems to be, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. Picking an alignment. Alignment system exists in Rifts. 7, experience. Nice little experience tables for everyone on one page. Excuse me. Rounding out your character. So 8 steps. All right, so 8 steps and a few pages. So 278 to 298. That's not bad, considering the amount of options you have within this book. Yeah, there's going to be some details in character creation. And then we get into the rules of the game, along with the skill lists and their descriptions. So various skills. And then insanity is part of the game. Well, optional rules, but I always like a good sanity option if it's available within the game. And then we get down to a bit of information on combat rules. So we were at page 338, and we've gone through character creation, the skill rules, and now we finally get to know how to handle combat on page 339. So, and combat terms and moves, hand-to-hand combat, power armor, and now we're into recovery, page 354, missile combat, shooting missiles, psychic combat, tapping the infinite, and then looks like what do we get here? The right perspective for building adventures. So we get a little bit of extra insight on character creation, along with what Rifts books do you need to run it? What are their, let's see, you need the Rifts World book, source book, and supplement, or every Rifts World book, source book, and supplement, and is designed to give you more options. So yeah, hey, advertisement, you got to pay those bills. Along with the Rifts Book of Magic, which I did happen to pick up. It's at one of my local game stores for 60% off. It's the reprint, but hey, it was one of the recommended ones that I looked through. And comprehensive book of weapons, Rifts Game Master Guide, so on and so forth. So yeah, and so many things, so many Rifts books, so little time. And so, yeah, just a bit of details on those, along with some final thoughts by Mr. Sembita from 2005. Okay, so had some time to, dwell upon the history of Rifts and where it comes to. Advertisement in the back. Another wonderful picture of a fantastic scene of which I have no idea what's going on. We have a gentleman here on the throne being fed some sort of alien delicacy, I would imagine, some sort of creature that is, currently being cuffed by some sort of device, along with other creatures, and what looks to be the Chicago Bears mascot reject. So there you go, damn fly. All right, so there you go. That's been a quick little page through of the Rifts Ultimate Edition guide after deciding to take the deep dive. Now, this is obviously something that, as far as my reading skills are concerned, this would definitely take me a lot of time to get through. But Rifts is on my to-run list for 2023. Even if it's just a one-shot or maybe a short scenario that takes a couple sessions or more, and I'm going to give it its fair due. I'm going to use it with the rules And then my plan is to next do it with the Savage Worlds rules. That's been the recommendations for primarily both. Obviously, there's other people who recommend running Rifts using a variety of different, homebrews or suggestions and whatnot. But, considering that this is my first time getting into the game and playing it, I tend to do a few steps when it comes to any game. I want to experience the game as is first before I decide to make any changes to it. And then after I get a feel of the game is then when I will drift to, well, maybe let's do this differently, or let's try it with this. Or the setting is fantastic, the rules stink, let's try a completely different rule set. But that will be determined at a later date. So, with that, I'm looking forward to it, just like I look forward to reading any game that I get. So maybe at a future date, come next year sometime, once I have some time with it, I will do a follow-up video to give you my opinion of Rifts and what my thoughts and how I feel about it. And we'll see if I still feel the same bit of excitement as I do with any role-playing game, or if it's just going to be a video of me, dumping this book into the fire pit and bidding it a fond farewell. We will see. So, thank you. This has been yet another completely unprofessional unboxing. For many of you who have recently subscribed to my channel, know that I really appreciate it. I enjoy the discussions that we have. I enjoy all the comments. Keep them coming. And hopefully there'll be more videos to come once we get on the Christmas break and have a little bit more spare time as work and other things tend to wind down for the holidays. And of course, coming into the new year. And also be sure and check out Titterpigs, the podcast that I co-host with Keith from Rolling Boxcars. We are definitely going to be doing a year in review, and we'll see about when that comes out, but we're going to try to see if we can get a couple more episodes out before the end of the year, which includes the year in review. And the details of that will, remain to be seen, or listened to. So there we go. It's been a while. I feel like I'm I've just got onto a bike after I had not ridden it for a while. So again, thank you so much. Take care. Have a wonderful day. And if this is the last video you see on my channel before you roll into the holiday season, have a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, crazy Kwanzaa, happy joyful Hanukkah, and any other holidays you want to throw in there. Whoever you are, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful year end to your 2022, and the start of your 2023 starts off with a bang. Take care. Bye-bye.